I'm Barry Tramel. Kevin Wilson is gone and Dana Holgorsen may be leaving. If so, who's got the tougher job? Bob Stoops or Mike Gundy in picking a new coordinator? I say Bob Stoops.
Oh, I think it's way more difficult in Stillwater. I think Mike Gundy's going to have a really difficult time if Dana Holgorsen leaves. From the Opepco studios in Oklahoma City, you're watching the Press Row. I'm Jenni Carlson. Barry, obviously, both programs could potentially be in a point of upheaval if offensive coordinators are gone from both. I think it's going to be toughest in Stillwater. I think OU's got two ready-made guys to pick from right now.
Well, you're right, and that's why it's a tough decision. Bob Stoops has to pick between two tangible guys. Both of them he has serious, deep history with. Jay Norville, his former teammate at Iowa, twice been on his staff here at Oklahoma. This is a guy he goes back with almost 30 years. And then also Josh Heupel, his national championship quarterback, a Sooner folk hero. This is a tough personal choice for Bob Stoops. Stoops is he's above all a loyalty guy. This is a guy who in 12 years as a head coach has never fired a staff member. This is a guy who really builds deep relationships with the people that he's come across in his career. I think it's going to be a tough call for Stoops, picking Norville or Heupel. Meanwhile, Mike Gundy, the landscape's wide open. He just has to go find a guy that can replicate Holgorsen's offense and keep this thing going, and it's going to be hard to find. But once he does, I think it's an easy decision.
I'm going to say that's all he has to do is go out and find the next Dana Holgorsen. You make it sound so easy. I don't think this is going to be an easy find. And I think it's not just who are you going to hire to run your offense at Oklahoma State. It's who are you going to hire that instills confidence in those guys that may be thinking about leaving for the NFL. Obviously, the top of the list being Justin Blackmon. Next on the list being Brandon Weeden. Talking to Brandon Weeden last week, I got the feeling like he wasn't leaning towards leaving. In fact, I get the feeling like he's going to stay. But that was before you started to hear Dana Holgorsen to Pitt and some of these other options that might be out there for Holgorsen. I think this hire is not only about who runs the offense, but who brings those guys back and gets them back in the fold. I think that's going to be part of this too, Barry. I think they're going to have to go out and try to find somebody that runs an offense very much like Dana Holgorsen.
Well, let's see. Who runs a Dana Holgorsen offense and is currently unemployed, looking to get back into football? I can't think of anybody except for Mike Leach, who's sitting down there in Key West wanting to get back in. If it's so hard to find a Mike Leach, Dana Holgorsen clone, just go get the original. Just go hire Mike Leach and bring him back. Tell Leach, hey, come run this offense. We'll score a gazillion points again. You'll zoom back into the front of the college football landscape. You can become a head coach next season, and then that gives Gundy an extra year to build up an assistant who can take over for the Holgorsen-Leach lineage. So if it's that tough to find somebody, I got somebody picked out for him already. I think Leach would take it. Leach is not one of these guys that worries about status or, ooh, I was a head coach in the Big 12. I don't want to be a coordinator at a similar school. I think Leach would take the job. So if it's that tough, hey, Mike, call Key West. I've been there. As eclectic as it is, they do have phone lines. Mike Leach will take your call.
Well, if that's the answer, then I think that's a good one. I think that's a winning one. I don't know. Maybe Mike Leach is looking for a head coaching job and he wouldn't take the job. If that's the case, then I think it becomes a lot more difficult because I don't know who that next guy would be. And I think a lot of people are going to be expecting not only people within the program, but also your fan base, your boosters. They liked what they saw this year, not just in the win column, but in how your offense performed. And I think they're going to want similar production next year and going back to a more, easy to predict offense. I don't think anybody wants to see that if they're a Cowboy fan. I think they want to continue this high-scoring offense. And right now, I don't think there's anybody on the staff that they can turn to. If Mike Leach says yes, that makes this, I think, an easy call. But if he says no, I like the beach, I'm going to wait for the head coaching call, then I think it becomes a lot more difficult to go out and find that next Dana Holgorsen to not only make your players happy, make your fans happy, and keep winning football games. Hey, stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.